Buddha, baby. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Second Street. I hope you're all having a very good day today. Sorry about the delay on the stream. Just a few minutes to get everything ready here in the. Ooh, see, and I still forgot something here in the studio, right? But I hope you're all having a very good day today. We're going to be sitting down and talking with a good friend of the channel here, Chillmonger. We are going to be going into a spoiler discussion. So if you don't want spoilers or anything like that, make sure that you make like a tree and get out of here. Because we're going to be just talking about the show and just some of the things that we see and questions that we have and things like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into. Is this thing going to work? Let's. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. Let's go ahead and get right into this. Bring on our guest. We got Chillmonger here with us. How are you doing this morning, man?
Yes, no, maybe, I don't know.
Oh man. And guys, in case you haven't been here the past few weeks, since this series has started, we've had these Friday morning conversations with Chillmonger, and there is a link down in the description. You can go check out his channel. And last week on his channel, we even did 33 burning questions from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So make sure you go check that out. I didn't get that link in there quite yet, but it'll be there soon. So just coming right off this episode. What did you like? Where would you rate this episode? How did you feel about this episode?
I'd say worse than last week, but it's an 8 out of 10 episode. It's a strong episode. The beginning parts are slow, and of course we go back to the sitcom stuff. Now, if there are nuggets to be taken that are super meaningful, then I'm missing out on them. The stuff like when Pietro mentions Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass? Oh, I get it, because you were the actor in Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
And so was the other Quicksilver, funny enough. So there were a couple of things in there, but in total, I'm just not so sure that there's a lot to read into the sitcom-y stuff again.
Yeah, and for me, I see these slower episodes like that. I see a lot of them as this is where they lay a lot of the little seeds out there, the things that they say in conversations and stuff to further expand what's going on in the world. Because I noticed that same thing even in the films. Like a lot of the stuff in the films comes in like these little conversations, stuff that comes back later that they call back to
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, just with the callbacks and everything. So that's why I see episodes like this one, and I just think so much about what exactly is going on here, especially after last week's episode. I almost feel like until these last couple of episodes, maybe the last episode, that episode number 5 was probably the peak of what we're gonna get for another couple of episodes, because that was a pretty epic episode.
Yeah, there's 3 more to go. So with all of the seeds that they're planting here, I think it's a little bit late to be planting this many seeds. I do think that we should start getting to the answers. We should identify the objective of like who is the villain. Is it really Wanda? Because when you go here, they kind of double back. They kind of make it sound like she doesn't know what's happening with Pietro asking her all the questions.
Right.
P- Pietro asking her the questions. Pietro just, it's like we just accepted that he's the uncle. The stuff I was talking about last week to you was right when Darcy showed up to the screen and said, she recast Pietro. You could hear the alarms blaring and it feels like there was a breach. And I'm going, yeah, okay, that's because Pietro entered, obviously. But then nothing except for Pietro's corpse that I can make a connection to. I have no idea what's happening with Pietro.
And to me, it seemed like that was just kind of the alarms and stuff still going off from when Wanda had went out there and seen him. I figured they were probably still on like a red alert or something.
Yeah,
Just
I guess
keeping
so.
an eye out for other threats as well. Because I was kind of thinking that too. I'm like, what was going on there? But because I mean, they were all outside, and maybe she ran back in real quick for something, or yeah, I really don't know there. But we also know that time works different as well from what we see
Yeah.
on the screen to when we see them out in the real world out there. And which is interesting, especially when you consider the interaction with the drone. That whole scene in there, because it seemed to happen kind of in real time. but then
Yeah,
it
that
seems like all the stuff airs a little bit later. Like sometimes they're able to interject on that same timeline. It's really weird.
I think we're supposed to interpret the episodes that are of WandaVision. While we are only 6 episodes in, the Sword agents have watched hours and hours of this show. This show is an ongoing show that has a new episode every 22 minutes for them. Um, sometimes they're live. So yeah, I can't explain that one. Why am I even trying?
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing that like just from all we've seen, all the evidence kind of throughout, it's kind of like okay, like what exactly is the real timeline going on here? I don't understand. Like sometimes I feel like I just don't understand anything that's going on here whatsoever. But there were, I mean, thinking of just like Pietro in here, or it all seems a little weird. It all seems a little
It's
weird.
possible. So because we see his corpse, it is possible that Sword agents grave dug Pietro, said, threw him inside and sees what happens. And all of a sudden, he's alive in that universe. Now, because he wasn't part of Wanda's plan, she recasted him and she purposed him for her hex. But when he turns into the body with the bullet holes, it's similar to Vision, who returned to his body missing his Mind Stone.
Yeah.
I do think that it's the dead body that Sword Agents put in. When she was talking to him, he was asking questions that Sword would be interested in, like, Wanda, who's doing this to you? Wanda, remember, I am your brother. And then he's like, yo, are you testing me? You trying to ask me about our childhood? I I think Pietro may be an agent of Sword or a tool of Sword, let's say it that way.
Right. Yeah, and here's kind of like my thoughts when it comes to that. As I was kind of thinking like maybe with all we're seeing here, maybe there actually was maybe this actually is all going down in a sword facility. Maybe they had all these bodies of these super. They had Pietro's body. They have Vision's body. They have all these bodies of maybe some of the heroes who have died and things like that, and just other people of interest somehow. And maybe they're all somehow caught up in this mix of what's going on here. All these people held captive, maybe, or maybe there's been rumors out there that maybe it is a graveyard. Maybe maybe we're setting on a graveyard
Hmm.
of sorts. It's definitely very interesting, especially with seeing some of these things and some of the parallels in the comic books as well. Like I said, I keep coming back to that Vision and Scarlet Witch series where we've seen. And there's a lot that goes on with it too. Things that parallel that, like in the last episode where Vision was talking about that book, the what was it, the Darwin book, I think.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
He was talking about that where he was reading it to the kids, and the funny thing is it was Josh over at the Den of Nerds had kind of talked about that a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, I was like, that is interesting what he was talking about that particular book, because in that Vision and Scarlet Witch series, that was kind of the thing where Vision was making the argument that his mind was like he was human, he just had a vibranium body, but he was basically a sentient being, a sentient mind. And a lot of and it's funny that that book gets kind of mentioned. Is I also thought it was odd that last week we seen Hayward, and I was talking about this last night. Is we see Hayward. Why did he seem so concerned, kind of about Vision's wishes to not be turned into a weapon when it looks like that's kind of what they were doing? And one of my things was like maybe Hayward had no clue that they were actually doing that at that facility or wherever that. Maybe he didn't actually know that's what was going down, but it was. I mean, maybe it was Ultron inside. Who knows?
Yeah, let me step in. Hayward has no interest in Vision's well-being. When Vision was escaping the little hex thing, no, leave him, let him be. That's all he cared about. And then what they did to Darcy, I feel sorry for Darcy.
Yeah.
Now, are they on a graveyard? No, because as soon as the hex swallows you, you remember how people were transforming into their
Yeah.
WandaVision forms. So I think actually everyone is alive. From the way that Vision, especially how he touched the Indian dude, who was working in the office. He's actually alive. We saw everyone who was identified except for Agnes still. They're still alive. Now, Agnes had a moment in here. She's still right on Ellis Avenue, and Ellis is an Easter egg because the president in Iron Man 3 was President Ellis.
Right.
And I think that's where the Easter egg stops. I just read it in chat. Somebody mentioned Ellis. Okay, so she's frozen. He unfreezes her, and then she just returns back to her normal self, and she drives away. Shouldn't she just return to being a drone again? Why did returning her take her into a, okay, I'm going to drive back and do a U-turn? I don't think that's right. Man, Agnes, sometimes I feel like she is a witch. Sometimes I feel like she's not Agatha Harkness. Where do you stand right now after this episode?
I'm kind of thinking that she is that character. I'm kind
Uh-huh.
of thinking she is Agatha Harkness, the witch. But again, I think it comes down to she's not the villain. I think she's being manipulated, and I think she's actually they're actually trying to help Wanda. In the whole scheme of things, I think she is there trying to help. And all of these kind of things, knowing that we only have 3 episodes left and there's a lot to still get in these, which I'm guessing this leaves the last 3 episodes at 40 minutes each. Are they all? I'm guessing these last ones are going to be a little bit longer. The next one might be shorter. Maybe the next 2 are longer. I don't know. But I think it's gonna blow up and get crazy. But I almost feel like it's gonna leave on a cliffhanger too, where we don't really get any answers. It's just going to further set up more stuff and kind of explode this stuff and give us these certain things and only set stuff up for something else as opposed to giving us real answers like a TV show.
Yeah, I'm getting Lost vibes. Lost was just like this, where they kind of ended without answers. But this, even though it will end, WandaVision will, Marvel will continue. So if we don't get the answers today, we'll get them in the Doctor Strange and the Spider-Man, Loki, possibly.
Right. And that's the thing, because, we supposedly we've seen, like, and that was, like, the whole thing this time I was thinking is, everyone's talking about Mephisto being the big bad, but then, why would they Easter egg him in the Loki series if he's going to be in this series? You would want to do it, in this series, not in that trailer. But, I could be wrong there. I don't know. But maybe he's the overall villain. It's really hard to say, and like I said, we still haven't even really got any hints of a Mephisto whatsoever in the first place. Yet everyone's still talking about it.
But we got Nightmare mentioned, so maybe Nightmare is the villain.
Yes, very interesting. That got brought up a couple of times. Like I said, there was a lot of stuff they kind of brought into this whole thing. Now, the one thing before I get this off of my head, I want to bring up here a couple things that might go hand in hand. I don't know. What did you think? Like, the first thing I thought when I seen what the first thing you seen when you seen the title of the episode, the all new Halloween Spooktacular.
Nothing. All new. So is that like all new, all different Marvel?
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought. I was like, when I seen that, I'm like, I wonder if people are gonna see that and associate it and be like, oh no, like, oh no.
I didn't. No.
That was the first thing I thought of was that. But then it also kind of brought on the fact of All Hallows Eve and everything. Some of the stuff from the comic books as well. A lot of just a lot of those kinds of things. But I thought there was that, but on the intro as well, I thought it was very interesting. How they kind of look like. I never watched Malcolm in the Middle, but I watched that intro and I'm like, is this Malcolm in the Middle? It seems very Malcolm in the Middle. Is that what that was supposed to be like? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because
Wiccan even spoke to the cameraman directly, or Speed.
Okay, yeah, and like I said, I've never seen Malcolm in the Middle, but I was sitting there watching it, and like I've seen it advertised on TV and stuff like that. I mean, I know what it is, but I'm like, it seems like that, even though I've never seen the show. It seems like that is what I was guessing it was mimicking, because none of the shows I ever watched in the '90s, and I was getting older by then anyway. Did this really remind me?
Yeah, I googled it, and that show came out in year 2000, not the 90s.
Huh. Interesting.
We just skipped the whole. We could have had like Fresh Prince. What else is 90s? Was the Cosby's 90s? Yeah, we could have.
Yeah, well, I think they were like 80s and 90s, I think.
Well, yeah, some of them cross over.
Yeah. because that's what I was thinking, like with Saved by the Bell too. I mean, I think Saved by the Bell is, I think it's kind of right there too.
90s.
I think it's mostly '90s, but I can't remember if it had started earlier or not. Like I said, I'm getting old. But I thought it was interesting. They're on that little intro as they're introducing everybody. As they're showing everybody's names, we get Wanda Maximoff, we get Vision, and then we get Billy Maximoff and Tommy Maximoff.
Mm-hmm.
And this was really interesting because, I mean, you know, they got the last name Maximoff on there, where we know in the comics for the most part it was, you know, Billy Kaplan and Tom. I can't remember what the other one's name was. Tommy. Can't remember what his
Williams.
something. It was something different. Yeah. And I thought that was interesting seeing Maximoff on there instead, because the Maximoff kids are the ones in the comics who ended up not being real, if I remember correctly.
They're just taking something from here and there. Since they're not doing where Wiccan and Speed grow up separately, they're just skipping that and getting straight to the Maximoffs. I think that's all that means.
It could be. I also thought there was something else interesting too, along with the Maximoffs, considering that the Maximoff is the name of the parents who adopted them and raised them. It's not, you know, because they were Magneto's kids. I thought that was interesting too, especially considering, from what I know of the comic books, you know, like they were like gypsies. They were traveling people. And then we seen when the Hex started to expand there at the end, everything was turning into a circus. And one could easily argue that, you know, the traveling circus would have gypsies and things like that. And all of these things kind of really interest me, especially as all this is going on All Hallows Eve. Some of the stuff we know from the comic books where they were trying to resurrect Simon Williams. That's what Eric Williams was trying to do. And so basically we've had all of these kind of Easter eggs, and it seems like it's all kind of leading to there. But I still feel
But they
like
have 3 episodes.
I still feel like there's got to be more to that.
I don't think you climax with that when you've got 3 episodes left. Whatever we end with, here's what they're building up. There's the space engineer or the aerospace engineer. There's whoever is the friend of Monica on the other end of that phone. That person's got to show up.
Right. A man on the other side of the hill.
Whoever the hell that is.
Yeah.
Someone, it's Mike Porter who was bringing up in the chat about this will lead into Spider-Man 3, Loki, and then Doctor Strange. The order of the films has been switched and swapped, unfortunately, by Sony. They were saying it's going to come out in Christmas. I think now they're saying it's coming out in July. Am I right about that or wrong?
I'm not.
Well, all I'm saying is Doctor Strange Once Upon a Time was before Spidey, and now it's after Spidey. So I don't think it will be that linear. I think the effects of WandaVision can play out in Spider-Man, can be felt in Doctor Strange, but Spidey and Doctor Strange won't be one will lead to another. In my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah, and because that's kind of the thing too. Anyway, with most of the MCU movies, is most of them are standalone films within their own little universe, and they just have like Easter eggs, things that just kind of they put in there that go into other movies, and that's really about it. And that's also just kind of what makes me wonder, like even on this series, if it's not just we're not just gonna have something happen and that's just gonna be it, and maybe there is no. I mean, for all we know, we might be getting a second season. I mean, do we know that for sure or not?
Okay, 99% sure. I think we're not going to get a second season, but I don't know it for fact.
I know, and that's kind of the thing, which like, because if they are doing one, you're probably not gonna go and do everything this season, but you're gonna do enough to expand stuff and get it ready for another season, and also things to lead into these other movies as well, to tie into that. And I think that's obviously what we're getting with the Hex growing and seeing what she's doing by changing and manipulating reality there in the first place, where we already know what's happened with Monica and what's going to happen, what's happened with Pietro and Vision, essentially, where she's kind of making this reality, and it's exploding, and she is, Darcy was sitting there talking about her basically her DNA, her genes, how they've changed, and how they are changing.
So it isn't just us who know about it. The character herself knows about it. Now, she never said, "Oh, really? Well, that's weird because I could kind of feel the light every room I step into." She never said that. She's completely unaware that her molecular structure has been modified.
Right.
You see how many big words I just used in that sentence? Took a while to get it out, but her molecular structure was compromised.
Do you people just put quantum in front of everything?
Quantum in front of everything.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you see how she's been in and out of the bubble a couple times, and that's what Darcy was saying. Like you're like it's changing. So that's obviously probably what's going to be happening to everyone else. Is they'll be changed. Does that necessarily mean that they'll all become mutants? I guess that's kind of the question.
I feel like mutants are a special breed. I just don't want everyone who gets Infinity Stone powers to be a mutant.
Right. And that's what I'm
saying. It kind of doesn't even fit. Sorry?
Well, and that's the thing is because, like, while she... And here's the thing is, I'm not even really sure that she got her powers from the Infinity Stone. I think that when the testing happened with the twins and Strucker and all that, I think the stones, what they put them through, only made them. It only revealed their powers. It didn't expose them to anything and give them powers. It only revealed them. That's what happens with mutants. Yeah. Is their powers are revealed to them. They don't. It's like when they hit adolescence. Usually at like what 13? Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, it's a dormant gene that was activated.
Yeah, so like exactly, and that's the thing, and it's usually caused at the time of adolescence, and that's why it comes in most people at those times, because stressful and just all those different kinds of things. The body's changing and everything, and so I'm not really of the opinion that the Mind Stone actually gave them their powers at all. I think it only revealed them.
For Pietro and for Wanda.
Right.
But for someone like Monica, it doesn't sit well with me that a superhero gave a superhero a power. Because then I'll have to ask, okay, do it again. Okay, right. Wanda, when you get this all figured out and you back to normal, create another hex, throw a regular person through it, and they'll have light energy also.
Right. And that's kind of the thing is like, so is where the question comes in is like, does she give people her powers? Is she creating mutants there, or exactly what's going on there? Is it just like the CMBRs where she's exposing them to that kind of radiation, and something may happen to them, something may not. Some of them may die, some of them may, get powers.
You think Darcy's gonna last?
Yeah, I think so. Only because I guess she's been on record saying that she's going to be in other Marvel series as well anyway, so
oh, Thor. She's probably in Australia right now.
Yeah, I was saying, plus I would think she's going to be in Thor. I mean, it would only make sense. There's just and I was going to say there's just a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions there with those kinds of things, especially like I said with Wanda's powers, cuz we don't really know what her deal is there with some of that stuff, cuz I think her powers here seem a little bit different than they were in, say, the comic books, from what we've seen here on screen. And obviously, we know they change it a little bit from the comic to screen too. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's so much going on here, and they're putting so much in there and giving us so much. It seems like it's just, like I said, it keeps everybody guessing, and nobody really knows what's going on. We're all Jimmy Woo right now. Who all we got here? Let's get into the chats here. Let's say I've been kind of putting it off here. Okay, we got Obi-Wan the homie. We got Jonathan Velasquez. We got Mike Porter, Park Outdoors in the house. And you're very welcome, Mike Porter. Thanks for being on yesterday. Always great to have good guests. We got Kendall Davis in the house. I'll never be able to say your whole name in the chat. Copy and paste on my phone. All right. Oh man, that's funny. We got MP Koch says no one is talking about superpowers in Darcy. Well, I don't think she has any yet. I don't think she has any yet. And that's why. And that's kind of the thing. I'm not really for sure that being exposed to Wanda being in the bubble necessarily gives you superpowers. We don't really
No,
have any
Monica
proof
has,
of that. We only know that
it's
Monica's been affected.
because Monica's been like ejected from there. No one else from the Hex has been kicked out the way Monica has.
Right.
So that's what makes Monica special. Um, what's the Franklin guy? The guy who tries to come from underground in the sewers, the beekeeper dude. I was saying he may have powers, but probably not because he hasn't been kicked out the way that Monica's been kicked out.
Right.
Monica's special.
Yeah. Lennon Poole is in the chat says, "Did you know Ellis Road in WandaVision is the same as Ellis Island, where Magneto had the place for mutants in the movie with Ian McKellen? Same sign as it shows as well." Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, and I guess that makes play. And that was the other thing I was thinking too. Was Ellis Island? I mean, and which brings in. We could always bring up the Bermuda reference, Island M. We're talking about Ellis Island, Is there anything to that? Who knows? I don't know. At this point, like I said, at this point, we're all just throwing darts, not even at a dartboard. We're throwing darts at a wall here. It's just got all, we're throwing darts at Jimmy Woo's wall.
Hey, Jimmy Woo can throw hands. Did you see? He didn't even need to communicate.
Yeah.
They just understood that's what's happening. Pow, 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 and they took care of the sword agents.
Yeah, man, he laid it down, dude. He laid it down. He was ready. I mean,
The sword.
So, Agents of Atlas incoming, man.
Oh, yeah. I love how he's so consistent with his Ant-Man character. Like, when they're asking him about the Sokovian Accords, he's reciting it, quote,
Yeah.
this, and that, the same way he talked to little Cassie Lang. Well, your daddy played with Captain America and wrote on the walls,
Yeah.
and that's in violation of Section 55 of the Sokovian Accords. It's the same guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. Love it. Love it. Mike Porter says the question is, will Sword or Darcy, not Disney, green light a second season? We need more Wanda Bewitched. Yeah, and that's the thing is, if they did a second season, I don't think that it would be like this anyway. I don't think they would do the whole TV thing again. And if they did, it would probably be different. It'd probably be in a different manner. Could you imagine them doing reality TV?
Podcast.
Reality TV.
VR.
Yeah.
Wanda VR.
Oh man. Evolution of Man says, okay, yeah, that's what. Yeah, the evolution of man. Yeah. Star Wars Santa says, make like a tree and get out of here. Is that how it goes? I think not. Yeah, Back to the Future, man. Back to the Future. Park Outdoor says, did you see the storyboard leaks I put in the Discord? No, I didn't. I'll have to go check that out. Hayward is super suspect and giving off scroll vibes. Yeah, he's
giving off negative vibes.
Oh yeah, he's totally negative vibes. And there was a second after the last episode, I'm like, maybe this dude actually just has absolutely no clue what's going on. He might just be clueless. And then after seeing what's going on, even with the missile and the missile strike and everything, I'm like, maybe he's just clueless and has no clue. But after this,
he is withholding.
Yeah, after this episode, it's like, okay, yeah, he knows.
Mm-hmm. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I can see Monica replacing him when this season is finished.
Yeah. Mike Porter says, I still think that in the Hex, she's mimicking the Infinity Stones. Regardless, she's in full control inside. Whether she made the Big Bang type CMBRs or not, she's in control. I think she's in, and that's the thing is, I think she's in control, not total control. And part of that is because, one, she's losing her shit. She's falling apart. But honestly, that same thing is like her falling apart will probably, make her manifest and be even stronger in the first place. On the other side of it, either way, whether it was good or bad. To be quite honest. Mike Porter says it will go right into Spider-Man 3, maybe Loki, and then it might finish up in Doctor Strange. Yeah, and I think the ties are there. I mean, they've obviously said that Doctor Strange 3 is going to be closely linked to this anyway. So I could see it doing that. The Spider-Man 3, I think, is probably going to be tied a little bit more to Doctor Strange than the WandaVision series.
Except we've only ever had confirmation that Wanda will be in Doctor Strange 2.
Right.
Never confirmation Doctor Strange. They've never announced he'd be in the new Spider-Man film.
Right. Well, and I think the only thing we really heard is like supposedly I think that might even just be through rumors as well that he's going to be his mentor. You know, he's going to be Spider-Man's new mentor.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And then everyone flipped out. He's gonna be another Iron Man. Why can't Spidey get his own? There's something to that. I know.
Yeah.
Tony,
Well, and that's why I kind of think like maybe, and I think we were talking about that before too. Like maybe he's just actually going to help Peter conceal his identity again and be like, dude, you got to grow up and stop idolizing this dude. You got to grow up and be your own man. Okay, with great power comes
yeah,
great responsibility, Pete.
that would be blasphemous. But yeah, I'll take it.
Why?
Because he's not part of the family. He's not a Parker.
But,
I would
but
love
wasn't
if
it just
Andrew.
the narrator that said that?
You're right. That is just the narrator said that. Look at me contradicting my own old video from like 2 months ago that you probably are sitting on. So you can just, yeah, you got me. Yeah. So in the first Spider-Man comic, The Amazing Fantasy number 15, the very last words on the page are the narration. And you can see Spidey walking into the sunset. And it's like, he learns with great power, there must also come great responsibility. But in the movies, it's Ben Parker who tells him that line. They had you think that it was him the whole time when it was really Stan Lee.
Yeah. And this is why you guys need to go check out Chillmonger's channel.
That's why I got to remember my videos for my channel too. Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, did you do the Gina Carano talk yet?
Yesterday morning stream was kind of that. It was kind of that. Mike Porter says no, Disney won't order a second season of WandaVision, but Darcy will petition for a second season, right? Loki and What If are the only ones confirmed for a second season. Oh, okay. Maybe the effects will be felt in Shang-Chi. Could be. Suge White can do anything with his bear. So God Doom. Oh, okay. Phantom Strange says, do you people seem like a chillsist statement? What? I think she had power and it enhanced the Mind Stone was like a Terrigen mist. Maybe so. Like I said, I just don't know what's going on there. I mean, obviously we're gonna get that. There's just so much we could speculate on with that. You know, we could probably chop that up for a long time.
Trinity, were you the one who told me this? That the radiation that Captain Marvel gave off is what has possibly caused Maria Rambeau's cancer, and that's why Monica's mad because Carol gave off radiation that killed her mom eventually.
Well, yeah, and that's
gradually.
Yeah, like some maybe exposure to that, yeah, as well.
I love that theory. That would be awesome.
Star Wars Santa says no, she's not in Australia. I saw her on an interview saying she wasn't invited to go. Oh, green screen, green screen, Mark. I don't think she's gonna be in Thor 4. I think she will be though. And the thing is because like in the scene she's gonna be in, they might not even be filming those scenes in Australia. She might just be in, scenes that they're gonna do stateside. So she'll be in Atlanta. Maybe. Wanda is a dormant gene. Oh, I see what you did there. A dormant gene with a J. Darcy said in an interview saying that she will have a lot of costume changes, so that's a hint that she will be in the Hex. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That means we're getting more TV show in 3 episodes. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Mark Hamilton.
Because I felt this was too short.
Yeah.
This episode ended with 28 minutes, was it, before the credits began? I didn't like that.
Yeah. Ray Hall says, do you think we're going to get new characters in the last 3 episodes? Do you think so?
Yes. Whoever's on the other side of the phone is definitely happening. If Agnes is the villain, I would count that as a new character because, I'm Agatha Harkness, wouldn't you? Like if someone reveals themselves. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 new people, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think there'll be there'll probably be new characters, and I think that's kind of what it'll end on, is maybe with a new character that's gonna go on into the movies, into one of the next movies or something.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan says, by the way, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to F with. Yeah, right? Haha, Jimmy Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah. Um, oh, okay. Mark Hamilton says, Trinity, you got any favorite memes in the Nerd Vengers Assemble? Dude, there's some damn hilarious ones in there, man. There's some damn hilarious ones in there. I can't remember which one. There was a couple of them that were really good. I think there was a Reno 911 that I seen on there that was killing me. It was killing me. We got Edsword 1 PS4 says hello. Well, hello. Will Wanda die in the multiverse of madness?
She's not dying. She's young, and we got a lot more years to get out of her.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be dying anytime soon. In an interview, Kat also said that the Marvel Overlords has told her that she is in Thor 4, and she said that they are filming in Australia, and she's not in Australia, is what she said. Oh, okay.
Yep. And Tatiana Maslany said, I'm not She-Hulk. No,
Yeah, right.
that's not going to be me.
And here's something I brought up too, is, a while back, Daniel Radcliffe joked that he was the new Wolverine, and then said that he wasn't. Hashtag never forget.
I actually like to live in a world where actors lie about roles like this all the time, so that we're never, fixated on, yes, you see, he's going to be that person. I like not knowing.
Yeah.
Reveal it when it's time for you to reveal it.
It'd be great for just people when they're asked to be like, yeah, of course I am.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think I've been shooting?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. What do you think I've been shooting? Of course I'm the new Black Panther. Just go along with it. Like anything people ask, like, yeah.
Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg, who look similar, they have a deal. If someone calls you the other one, you just have to play along, and you have to be nice so that they can never be like, oh, that guy's such a dick.
Right. Well, and there's that one guy out there, man. I can't remember his name all of a sudden because he's great. I call him the junkie Matt Damon, but and the sad thing is he's not junky at all. Let me see if I can find he was in that. Oh man, what was the name of that movie? The one where they were going out. They were the adults playing the game. They went for a game night. Oh, that was it. Game night.
Chillmonger. Game night. John Cena?
No, I can't. Oh man, what is his name? I don't. I'm gonna find it right here. I cannot find it. Where's he at? Oh, Jesse Plemons. Jesse.
He looks like Matt Damon.
Yeah, he's the junkie Matt Damon. He's the affordable Matt Damon. But you know what? He's actually a really great actor. I've seen him in numerous roles. I'm like, dude, like he nails it every single time. He's great. Let's see. MP Koch says WandaVision promo material has a green super costume with red tooling. Green super costume with red tooling.
Is it green or is it green screen green?
I'm not sure what he's talking about. WandaVision promo material. Green super costume with red tooling. I don't know. I'm not exactly for sure what he's saying there. Skywalker Club, thank you for being here, says, I think Hayward could be using Vision to recreate Ultron, and Bruce Banner comes to stop him. Yeah, as I'm saying, that's the thing, is like, I think it's certainly possible that it could be Ultron kind of doing things in the background. I mean, absolutely. Because I think that Ultron could still be out there. I mean, he was just a sentient AI program.
So what do you think of Wiccan? What do you think of Wiccan? It looks like he could hear what was happening to Vision, so it appears that he adopted Mom's powers. Mm-hmm. I would have said Speed adopted Quicksilver's powers, but there was a scene where 3 people, Quicksilver and Speed, were running fast, but they also had Wiccan joining with them. Now that happened first, and I said, so they all have super speed, I guess? And then a few minutes later is when Speed establishes that he has super speed. I'm like, but you just did the speed thing earlier. Maybe it was because you were assisted by Quicksilver, so that doesn't count.
Right, maybe so.
Wiccan does have Mom's powers.
Yeah. But just like when Superman grabs Lois Lane's hand and takes her flying, and like all of a sudden it's like she can fly. She's like, oh, okay, it's cool. Like, all right, I just gotta touch you. You notice though, Wiccan's powers aren't red. When he used his powers to stop Tommy while he was running, I probably got him mixed up, but he stops him from running, and he uses his powers. He puts his hand out. It's not red. It's like bluish, kind of whitish.
You think he stopped him with powers? I thought he just told him to stop.
I don't know. Well, because I thought there was another. It looked like he used powers. I mean, I could be wrong.
Was there a sound effect also, like making it sound like he used powers?
I have to go back and listen and listen a little closer. I have to go back and listen a little closer.
Hey, I'm actually happy we're getting episodes now with rewatch value, so I'll check it out and see it again.
Yeah, but that is interesting about Ultron, Bruce Banner coming to stop. Interesting. Yeah. Let's see. Mark Hamilton says, does each universe have its own Infinity Stones, or do the stones span the multiverse? Marvel MCU normies are trying to get deeper understanding. Each one would have its Infinity Stones, because that's what they established in Endgame, where they went to the different places to get the stones.
Yeah. So, every branch has its own stone.
Yeah. So I mean, the stones are still. They're still able to get the stones, and I still believe, even through stuff seen in the comic books and stuff, just from the movies, I still think they could bring those stones back.
Because they've been reduced to atoms, according to Thanos. Right. He used the stones to destroy the stones. So if you go back to that planet he was sitting on, the garden, you can find a way to reassemble the stones.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Ray Hall says the multiverse is breaking. I will use web shooters to fix it up. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I think Spider-Man 3 she will be alluded to, and I think the consequences of what Wanda did will be in full effect in Spider-Man 3. Yeah, probably so. And that's the thing is, I think the effects of all of it definitely are going to ripple throughout the multiverse, if I dare say that.
No, I think it's appropriate now to start using multiverse. I'm actually kind of pissed off we didn't get confirmation that it's Pietro from the Fox X-Men films universe. I was something I was looking forward to, as if we're going to get answers to that. You leave us on a cliffhanger, and here we are. So there's 3 episodes left. I'm hoping that they're longer, but that is something that frustrates me.
Yeah. And I think those answers are coming. And like I said, it's like there's only 3 episodes left, so they've got to be like, man, I think, like, what do these next 3 episodes have in store for us? It's got to be a lot.
In Feige, we trust, because episode 4 was a big answers episode where Monica is actually a sword agent, see her history, what happened when the snap ended. So they could do it to me because they did do it to me 2 weeks prior.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of those episodes that people aren't going to like. I feel like this is one of those episodes people are like, this is just like episode 1.
I feel like I shouldn't have used the wording. They could do it to me.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It's good. It's all good. Jamie Franklin, thank you so much for being here. We'll do our best. Says, keep up the great content. Yes, thank you. Ray Hall says, who do you think the cameo is going to be?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I was going to say, at best, I think that's it, is Doctor Strange. Like I said, I mean...
Unless you mean the Luke Skywalker level cameo, in which I don't think there is one. I think that was Pietro. That's what she was talking about.
Yeah, and that's, like... I mean, what exactly does that mean? I mean, the Luke Skywalker type cameo. I don't know. I think people are chopping that up and looking into it a little bit too much. Like, we'll probably get another cameo. Yeah, sure, but...
Yeah, and just a reminder to everyone. The interviewer asked her, hey, they did Luke Skywalker, a big cameo in Mandalorian. Is there anything like that here? So she never actually said, like, unsolicited. She never said there's going to be a Luke Skywalker level of cameo. She just kind of answered, yes, there is, and no one's talking about it. But Elizabeth Olsen is not in my circle, in your circle. We are talking about literally every possibility, from Deadpool to Mr. Fantastic to Magneto and Pietro. Right. And we knew about the Evan Peters rumors. So what she knows when she answered that question is like, nobody knows, no one's talking about it. Yes, in your circles. You're off social media, Elizabeth Olsen. You cannot speak for the people.
Right.
So I don't want to get everyone's hopes up. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Obi-Wan says Lizzie is fire and Wanda is that bee. She ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Love the Gene reference. Yeah. Just skipped on me again. Okay, we got everybody saying what's up. Will Gentry in the house. It was silver and blue. Okay, yeah, all right.
I like the new costume, the old costume of Quicksilver.
Yeah. Will Gentry says, "Yeah, I wanted something about." I'm repeating it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted something about X-Men. Yeah, there's man, and that's the thing is, are we gonna get that? Are we gonna get that? Man.
It would be a quick turnaround time because they would have just gotten the Fox rights, and here we go.
Yeah, and it's completely possible, but I don't know. It wasn't the most exciting episode, but there was no big reveal or spine-chilling kind of moment. No, there wasn't, because even when Agnes was sitting there in the car, it wasn't all like creepy or anything. It was this vision, like, what's going on here? Goes and hey. Now, I thought that was pretty interesting about Vision with
What?
him and Agnes. She's like, "You're one of the Avengers." He's like, "What are the Avengers?"
He doesn't remember anything since before Westview.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. But what does he remember if he don't remember the Avengers? I mean, it seems like
Does he?
does he remember anything? I mean, what's going on with that? I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot there with that. Like,
He said he doesn't remember anything. We saw like a couple of photos of him as a kid, right? So I assume those are somewhere in the house. But like he told Lizzie, Wanda, I don't remember anything since before Westview. I think that means 9 days ago. He doesn't remember anything.
right. But then why wouldn't he remember who the Avengers are?
What do you mean? Why wouldn't he? Because that's just an absent memory. Somebody plucked that out and said, Vision, this is what you're allowed to do. These are the places you're allowed to go. Tell me where you're going to go, Vision, so I can preset the NPCs, the non-playable characters, in the town of Westview. But if you go where I don't expect you to go, like when he tells his woman, I'm going to, I think he said to Neighborhood Watch, right? That's what he lied to tell her. Instead, he goes to the other side of town
Right.
and he sees people just frozen. It's because Wanda wasn't manipulating that part of the reality,
Right.
including Agnes, which is why maybe Agnes is just regular Agnes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And maybe that's what it is because maybe it's actually her because her power is growing is probably what it's probably meant to show there. Once it starts expanding and everything as well, is that her power is growing. I just think it's interesting that he don't know who the Avengers are. Remember that, um, which brings up so
Is there
many more
any
questions.
is there any evidence of him remembering something from, his past adventures at all? He never mentions Thor or Iron Man or anybody.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing, which makes you wonder if that was it. Is maybe they just had the body and they were trying to rebuild that AI construct, which we know that they were doing in the first place, which would lead us into, I mean, what did they build? Is it Ultron? Is it another version of Ultron? Is it Dr. Arnim Zola? Oh man, that would be so great. Um, yeah, I'm not really for sure. But I think there's something there to that too, as well with the Vision's mind not being able to remember that. Um,
But Vision's memory could remember that these computers eventually could find you a date, and these computers could eventually, blah blah blah. That joke he said in the
right.
office. So he does have some sort of knowledge that he's in the past in order to say a joke like that, right?
Well, yeah, yeah, I would think. Yeah, he's a modern
I'm
man.
confused.
He's a modern man.
Mm.
Yeah, I just it just that thing just kind of really left me wondering, like, why don't he remember who the Avengers are? She says that he's dead, and we've seen that. He don't know that. There's been evidence of that. I'm not really for sure. I'm not really for sure. If anybody has the answers to that, please. If you have any kind of speculation on that, please let us know in the comments. Because yeah, that's just it's a big one. Just like, why wouldn't he remember the damn Avengers? He was an Avenger.
Yeah, that's all he is.
Yeah,
So, since his inception.
yeah, pretty much.
Does he know that's a Mind Stone?
Yeah, I was gonna say because they covered that in Endgame. the whole Mind Stone thing and his connection to it. And that was, I remember him saying, he wanted to learn his connection to it, and those kinds of things. And then remember, they also said once they got to Wakanda that they could essentially keep all of his essence and everything without the Mind Stone if they took the Mind Stone out and destroyed it, because that's what they were doing there in Wakanda. Remember, Cap was like, "Hey, as soon as that thing's out of his head, you destroy it."
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to essentially copy his essence and keep it in his body, which is to say that he don't need the Mind Stone, and he is a sentient being without it.
What is his source of power, though? They'd have to change that. Solar panel or something.
Interesting you bring that up, because that's something like kind of from the comics as well, where they talked in the comics where they were trying to bring back some dead people. One of the reasons they failed to beat I think that was when they were trying to resurrect Sam Hain. One of the reasons they failed is because they were doing it during the daytime, and that's when Vision got his powers was from the sun, is what he said. So yeah, like I said, there's just so many things going on here. Like it's got my brain on being fried. No stimulants needed. Let's see what else we got here.
Everyone in chat, let me ask you a question. Who was the MVP as far as acting goes in this episode? I don't think anyone stood ahead of anybody else. Last one, I would give it to Paul Bettany for Vision.
Yeah, definitely. You notice they laid the groundwork for this Rambo girl to get her powers? Yeah, I think that was in the last episode. This also teased up with Darcy finding something sneaky on the computer, then she got sucked into the hex before we found out what it was. Yeah, where she found all of his files and everything. It was interesting, some of those files, and I looked up some of those names. Some of them were production assistants and stuff from some of the movies. But definitely interesting that he has all that stuff on his data. I mean, he's no different than any of these kind of people are. Nick Fury did the same stuff, and look how much we trust him. You know what I mean? But you let an evil-looking white man do it, and we don't trust him. Alexander Pierce, he ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, that's it. The source.
Mark Strong, in every movie that he's been in, he ruined it for bald white dudes.
We could take the Red Skull, but man, that Alexander Pierce, he's the one who really tipped the scale.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, that is interesting too. I mean, like you said, I mean, obviously when you're the head of something like that anyway, the director, when you're the acting director of Sword, obviously you've got a lot of information that you can't just divulge to people, which is interesting too, considering in the last episode it's like, oh well, I just got word that we can share this with you guys. Like, word from who? You're the director. What are you talking about?
That is a great point, which means he's not the top dog. Well, you said acting director, so there's someone who selected him for the position.
Right. And it could be the World Security Council, or could be General Ross. Or Secretary Ross. My bad. Secretary Ross. Could be Secretary Ross. Because you know that Secretary Ross wants somebody doing S.H.I.E.L.D.'s work. What S.H.I.E.L.D. used to do. They need a government-mandated force. Yeah, I'm using all of those words. They need a government-mandated force to enforce their laws and things. I mean, they got the FBI with Jimmy Woo and all that stuff, but Jimmy Woo don't have all the resources to contain some of the threats that Secretary Ross is wanting to keep contained.
You didn't see that right book. He's got a mean right.
Right. But I mean, but that's it. Like, he don't have all those resources as being an FBI agent, and I think that's obviously where him working with Shield here and Monica is kind of going to play into that. Probably his progression of the character in some of those kind of roles moving forward. But General Ross has somebody that he's got to have in place to enforce those things, like sentient weapons and
if not General Ross, Nick Fury, to make him the acting director, meaning I know my little girl Monica from the first Captain Marvel movie. I know she's gonna come back. So just in case she does, I'm not gonna make Hayward the permanent. You're gonna be the acting, because just in case we got the captain to return, she could take over the role. Now, is Fury and Ross friends? Have they ever shared scenes together? Spoken to each other? No. They
Shared
were
the
in the
scene,
back
but
of
that's
the funeral.
really, yeah. You're getting ready to bring up the funeral, right?
Yes, they were close to each other.
Yeah. That was really about it. That was really about it. The only interaction that we know that they've close to interaction we know that they've had, but obvious. I mean, wouldn't Fury be in contact with him at some point? I would think. I would think. Um, what if Vision's body becomes Zola's? Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Like maybe Dr. Zola was actually trying to get his own synthezoid body, and that's kind of exactly what my whole thought process is with Dr. Zola. They're there in New Jersey. Maybe he had people working for him because he probably experimented with a lot of these same kinds of things as well. Um, there's
Zola is not that far fetched. They revisited him in Endgame. I would have told you, nah, that was a phase 1, phase 2 thing,
right,
but he's back.
yeah, yeah, and plus love Dr. Arnim Zola. I mean, he's really the reason for all these things.
Mm.
He's the real innovator, not that sham Tony Stark.
Does that put you on Team Riri?
But I don't know. I honestly don't know. We'll have to see if she's a sham too. Does she just
If
steal
she
people's
fakes it?
technology? Does she just Sony it?
Actually, yes, from school. She
Oh,
stole it from her university.
did she take the technology and improve upon it?
We'll see.
Okay, I was gonna say because it sounds like she might be on the road to Starkdom. She might
Yeah,
she
so
might be the
so far.
You know, that's interesting. Riri Williams?
Uh,
Simon Williams.
Simon Williams.
Riri got an Iron Man tech? The Williamses were mad at the Starks because of their tech.
All right.
Are we looking at another MCU mystery meat in the making here? I don't know.
No, we're not.
Hmm.
There's like a 0.1% chance that you're onto something.
I'll
I'll
take
take
it. I'll take it. I'll take it just so somebody else can't say they got to it first.
it. Mike Porter said Hayward is really sus. He's more than sus. He
Yeah.
is confirmed to be. I'm done with him. There's no redeeming this character. I'm just ready for you to get exploded, be the biggest casualty in episode 7.
Yeah. Ray Hall says I'm more on Josh's theory on this cameo thing. Wanda manifests Avengers to fight the big bad, maybe evil ones. Oh, I'm not sure. When did he have that theory? I must not. I may have missed that one. But yeah, and the cameo thing. Like I said, I'm not gonna make a big deal about that. I just don't know, man. I just don't know that there's gonna be like a really huge like. Is there at this point? Is there gonna be something out of left field? I don't know. Let's see. Due to reviews, thank you so much for being here. I see ReeferMan Reviews joined us as well. I hope you're doing well, my brother. Rafael Calvia says Fury wouldn't have chosen him. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Thought for a second you said General Zod then. Hayward answers to the scrolls. Yeah, he could. Or what if Hayward's a Kree?
Wow.
You know, he could be.
Why would he be a Kree?
Yeah, he could be.
Okay, he could be.
Because I mean, they said they had ones like Jude Law's character, with the pink flesh and all that stuff. So he could be. He could be. And the scrolls, Hayward answers to the scrolls, and the scrolls answer, and the scrolls answer to Fury. Well, and that's the other thing I don't think too. Like I know everybody seems to be like disappointed, like, oh, the scrolls and Captain Marvel were revealed to be good guys. Like, how's that? Like, okay, let's just take the example of Earth. and all of
You
its
got some people from
Earthlings.
Canada,
Yeah,
and you've got some
and
Americans.
let's take a look. Like, out of all of these humans, just because there's a whole bunch of them that join forces with somebody good, does that make all of us good? Does that make all humans good? Absolutely
Mm-hmm.
not. I think there's factions out there that are more radical and things like that. I mean, and that's the kind of the thing. Like, coming out of that, everybody's like, "Oh, the scrolls are good guys." Like, what? Like, I don't even get how that makes sense. You know, I don't even get how that, like, oh, the whole race is good. The whole race is nothing but good guys. Like, come on.
It was a realistic. It was a twist, but it's a realistic take.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm getting a little too worked up about that.
No, 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 you're not. They are getting too worked up into it. They're reading into it and seeing the political ramifications of immigration. They're making relations to that, and they don't like that they've been preached to because now they feel bad for their thoughts on immigration.
Rafael Calvia says, I think that now he messed up sword will be given to Monica, and the branch of loyalists will follow Hayworth and found aim.
Yeah.
Why would they found aim? Aim already exists. It's
Uh huh.
existed since 1990
99.
99. Yeah, at least that long. It, I mean, aim's out there. They're out there doing. They're out there doing. Dr. Zola's good
They're
work.
aiming. Yeah.
Fear and Ross hate each other. Yeah, yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. Hayward, yeah,
They should.
suspect. He will be back in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm calling. Oh yeah, well, I'm pretty sure just from some of the things I've seen him or interview he did that he's gonna be Red Hulk soon enough anyway. So they should.
Is that the acronym TFATWS? Can we just call it Falcon and we're good? That's a lot of letters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What are you doing, XR? No, we're
Done.
pulling your wrench for that. We're pulling your wrench for that stupid acronym bullshit. No.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan says, me think not all the scrolls will be good scrolls leading up to Secret Invasion. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, like I said, because I think, and here's the thing, is like, who's to even say that, for all we knew, right, and we know now, but
Mhm.
because of Spider-Man Far From Home, but for all we knew, after that initial snap, after the Captain Marvel movie, after the snap and everything, it could have been the Skrulls were pissed and they're like, dude, how'd you let this happen? And maybe that radicalized them. I mean, we don't know. I mean, we do know now, but at the time we didn't know.
It's possible. It was possible.
I want Riri to be standalone. Ray Hall says, no Simon Williams, no Eric Williams, no Mephisto, no Nightmare. It's all Agnes and Hayward. But yeah, I just don't think it's Agnes because.
No, I mean, look, but the thing is, like, we're not that deep into. I mean, we are too deep in the show to be revealing new people. I think maybe he's got a little bit of a point. I know you were about to shit on him, so go ahead and shit
Well,
on
no,
him.
I'm just gonna say I don't think that it's Agnes because I don't think she's the bad guy. I don't think she's a bad guy. I do think that she's possibly being manipulated, maybe helping things manifest. But there's a lot of interesting things there when you think about like the last episode, what she did with the kids, where she's like, "Oh, crazy thing about kids, you can't control them," which is
Mm.
what she kind of tried to do with her kid in the comic books. They ended up banning him to whatever realm, and he couldn't come back, and that's where her grandkids were trying to resurrect Nicholas Scratch, and she didn't allow it to happen. Franklin Richards kept that from happening, but then Agnes was actually burned at the stake by her grandchildren, the same grandchildren. She was burned at the stake, and she was living on the spirit world. And in the Vision and Scarlet Witch series, she came back and she was trying to tell Wanda hey, they are trying to. They're going to try to use you to resurrect. I mean, it was a whole thing, and Wanda was there by herself, going through this battle while Vision was away. They were separated. Crazy because it was on like the same kind of episode that this episode was on in the comic books. It was on All Hallows Eve. But anyway, point being is they were split up, and Vision ended up having to go save Wanda, who was in trouble. And I think there's just so many parallels there. I don't think that Agnes is. I don't think she's the villain. I don't think she's the villain. but I do think she has probably an agenda or something of wanting to still use Wanda in a way. I think there's something going on there with Wanda. Is they want to use Wanda, and I think kind of like the comic books, the original plan was they wanted Vision, because we've seen Sword even experimenting on Vision. They wanted Vision for his powers and what he could do, but then once they seen
Yeah.
what Wanda could do, they were like, "Oh, holy crap! We don't need him. We've already got her. Let's just use her."
Yeah, but Sword is still following Vision.
Mm-hmm.
They were tracking him, and they got a sensor on like vibranium residue. They still want Vision.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but I think that's the thing is that's what they were after. Is the same kind of thing. They were after that, but then they found out what Wanda could do, and they're like, "Oh, hey, like Vision's all good in that. That's just the cherry on top of the pie that is Wanda, essentially." Let's see. I don't think I still don't believe the Skrulls are the villains. Yeah, Kree sleeper cells. Yeah, remember in Captain America when Zola made way more advanced weapons with the Tesseract in the 40s than Shield or Tony Stark. Hashtag facts. Absolutely right, Mike Porter. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Oh, sorry. I just hashtagged that. They own a life debt to Fury and Captain Marvel. Well, those ones do. Those ones do. But that's, as I'm saying, that's the whole thing when it comes down to it, too. Like, when you become indebted to somebody and say you're one of those people out there, like, I don't want to be, like, this dude, like, you know, there's people out there, this dude didn't help me. Why am I indebted to him? F this guy. Let's not pretend people aren't like that. Fill in the blank. Not all blank are bad. It's true across the board, right? Yeah. Oh, weird. Just call it Discount Captain America, not Falcon and Winter Soldier. Oh.
Hey, listen, the reason they're calling a Falcon Winter Soldier is because they're choosing not to go down the Mark Waid Captain America route.
Right.
Was he the writer of that?
No, Nick Spencer. Nick Spencer. You're talking
My
about
mistake,
yeah,
yeah.
you're talking about when the Sam Wilson Captain America storyline? Yeah.
Nick Spencer?
Yeah, it's Nick Spencer. Yeah, and that's what I think. Well, I think if anything, the show is going to if anything, he's going to be Captain America at the end of the series, not through the series. Because
I hope he does what Spider-Man did in Homecoming and says,
no,
"No, I don't want that. I'm friendly neighborhood Falcon."
yeah. Well, and that's the thing is because like through the series, through the trailers, we got like he looks like he's coming into his own, not like he's trying to become somebody else. And that's what I've loved about the trailer so far. I think Agnes and Hayward are playing everyone, and they are both playing Wanda. Yeah, it could be, and maybe that's why they don't have information on Agnes, and maybe Agnes was actually the one actually trying to manipulate Wanda and take advantage of that. You know, absolutely, it could be, and maybe Agnes isn't fully aware of what she's doing for Hayward if they are working together. It could be. I think some people in Westview, because that's something that we're seeing a lot of it throughout a lot of these things anyway too. Is I feel that's what we're going to be seeing, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. You get into Black Widow, you get into Falcon and Winter Soldier. Some of these other things that we see have been going on here is we're talking about power structures here. You know, and people in control and abuse of power and oversight. And it's something that they've kind of been focusing on a lot. You know. Let's see. I think some of the people in Westview are half aware the way Agnes says want to take it from the top, and the way that the neighborhood watch guy, said, "Is there anything you want me to change?" Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was.
There was something happening there.
Yeah. Are both examples of someone talking like they knew what was going on within Westview. So I think maybe some of the people are kind of semi-aware but unable to escape. Yeah. And that's kind of been my whole thing in the first place too. Is I think there are agents of S.W.O.R.D. in there, in this town that are living there, kind of. Going like they're aware of what's going on. We've seen signs of that, and that's kind of, you know, like we were saying even about.
Hold on. Now that we have the S.W.O.R.D. files, we would know if Herbert was an agent of S.W.O.R.D., Agnes was agent of S.W.O.R.D.
Right. Well, I mean, we didn't actually get to see her go through everything though. Neither. I mean, maybe that was in there.
Yeah.
Maybe she wasn't looking for that. Maybe it's some of that stuff that he don't want on a. Maybe that he don't keep in those kinds of files because it's not for S.W.O.R.D. eyes maybe. But I do think that there's a lot. Like I said, there's so much going on with that there, but I do think there's agents in there because, like I said, we've seen that they know kind of what's going on, to some extent. Do you think Darcy will get powers, or just jump, or just one jump inside is not enough for people to become MCU mutants? Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily mutants, because I don't think, like, Monica Rambeau in the comics, she wasn't even a mutant.
No.
She was a human. What do they call it? A human mutate. Almost like an inhuman, but I don't think she was even an inhuman. I think she was just mutated by whatever she was exposed. And that's the thing, is I don't know the full history of the character, but as far as I know, she was human and got those powers, similar to being exposed to these things. But she's not a mutant, which kind of like we were kind of talking about that earlier, about just because she was exposed to that and she's changed doesn't mean that she is a mutant.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm not necessarily for sure that that's what Wanda is doing quite yet, because we've all got the whole thing, like, maybe she creates mutants, more, no, more mutants.
Uh,
Maybe a mystery man under witness protection. Yeah. We've heard about that as well. Ray Hall says we still haven't seen how this all started. That episode is going to be so satisfying and will give us many answers. Probably the 8th episode. Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I can't wait. I'm hoping, Ray Hall, that we find out that it's Pleasant Hill. We were on Rolling Hill Drive after all. Why not? Come on, give me Pleasant Hill. Just give it to me. Give me. Sorry.
but he's right about episode 8, though.
Yeah.
That's when we'll finally know what we're dealing with. Now, in 7 days, the conclusion.
Yeah. Man, how long is that last episode going to be? Man. And, I noticed some people finally talking about it, but I noticed it in the last episode, too. That drone, being a Stark drone. Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just interesting, given the time that we're in. Well, I guess it was an 80s drone they sent in, too. It was an 80s Stark drone.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
What do you mean it's interesting? Is that all you mean? It's just interesting, or is there something you're getting at?
It is. Like, what are they... I don't know. I guess, he used to make weapons for the government, but you would think at that point the government might be like, F Stark, we don't want to use that crap. I don't know. They had Hammer in there. It's hard to say.
It's Obadiah. Obadiah was selling them like hotcakes right before he met his untimely demise.
Right. Let's see. Love how the person that left Darcy got left behind. Oh yeah, that dickhead that left Darcy chained to the thing. Yeah, that was great. That was great. So, what do you think about Darcy? Do you think anything's gonna happen with Darcy?
I want to say she's gonna die, and that's it.
I don't think so. Well, because she's supposedly gonna go on to more stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to feel about Darcy. What's gonna happen to her and all of that stuff? It'll be very interesting. Could you imagine if she gets into Westview, and they do the 2000s, there's 2 broke girls?
Yeah. Oh, that's why they put her in West. Yeah,
that'd be crazy. Obviously, I would say it's a little on the nose, but look what this whole damn show has been.
I'd love that.
Let's see. Raphael says, I hate them being 30 minutes. I hate that so much. I hope we'll get longer last episodes. I like the 30-minute thing. I'm okay with that. But I do want some longer ones here towards the end.
See, I'm watching this show, realizing that there's like more show behind me than there is in front of me. And that's the worst feeling when you're at like minute number 17 and you're like, oh, it's almost over.
Yeah, absolutely. A duder says Agnes and Pietro are really curious about the extent of Wanda's powers. Yeah, they are too. And that's the thing, is like, because you kind of seen Pietro kind of, he was testing her too after she tested him. In some of their interactions, like how are you able to do that? I also think it's interesting as well that the project Cataract, considering what cataracts are, and then you see Pietro when we see him, just kind of like Vision, their eyes are cataract from being dead.
I don't even know what cataract is.
It's basically like it's a condition of the eyes where they'll kind of get like they'll get gray and cloudy, and you kind of like as a person like you're seeing through like basically like a smoke cloud. It can be I believe it can be corrected and stuff. Like it can't be cured, but you can have surgeries and stuff for it to take care of it. But yeah, basically it's like so it kind of grows over your eye and it like becomes like gray and everything, almost like what we've seen, like what Pietro looked like. I thought that was interesting that it was called Project Cataract, and we see Pietro with his eyes all cataract. We see Vision like
His
that
hair all.
essentially. We see, and then we just the fact that we are kind of talking about dead people here. In the first place, it brings up so much, especially because I've seen some leaked photos with some people in some suits. Oh, you're all good. You're all good. Yeah.
I heard leaked photos and I
Yeah,
exited
yeah. No, I'm
screen.
not saying I'm not saying what they are, but these photos where these people are in these particular the get-ups they're in, it really makes me think that's kind of where we're going here with a lot of this stuff that really pertains to the dead, and that's where like I think the Project Cataract comes in and these kind of things. It's just like I don't know. It just makes me wonder. Makes me wonder about that. But yeah, no, I don't want to give like any of that spoiler stuff out there. Even like the trailers and stuff that leaked. I don't want to, because believe me, some of that stuff I'm okay with seeing and hearing some of that stuff. Because until you actually see it on screen and everything, I think there's a
it is
lot
different.
there's a lot to, it takes it doesn't it for me it doesn't take away from it because there's still the experience of it. Wanda would kick Soup's ass. Agree, she is so OP. Probably so. Maybe I don't know. Red jacket, green jacket. Who gives a shit? Monica was a mutate. Yeah, she was a human mutate. Yeah. MCU has always given the soldier background, never much the scientist one. Oh yeah. For Falcon. Yeah, he was a soldier. Oh my god, the MCU sucks. Go watch anime instead. Anime is a million times better than the MCU. Anime is awesome. Everybody, say it with me. Oh my god, the MCU sucks. Go watch anime instead. Anime is a million times better than the MCU. Anime is awesome.
Anime is awesome.
Well, if it sucks so much, what are you doing here, Night Owl?
Yo, is Night Owl like a real person? What's going on here? It's a bot, right?
Yeah, probably so. Bots everywhere.
Look at these opinions. Spider-Man 2 is overrated. Punisher, Warzone, and Logan are the only good Marvel movies.
The Brainiac Sam Wilson is more of a cartoon. The Brainiac Sam Wilson is more a cartoon point of view, I think. Brainiac Sam Wilson. I don't know what you mean there, Raphael. Yeeted Quicksilver.
I know Brainiac is a
creepy scene. Yeah, Yeeted Quicksilver was this dope, super creepy scene. Yeah, that was good. Should just get incorporated in the next sitcom. Yeah, so meta and on the nose. Absolutely. Wanda is uber powerful. God only imagines what she's capable of doing if she becomes crazy. Oh, she's already there. Maybe
she doesn't even know what she's doing. She's pretending to Vision that she's not right. She pretends to Quicksilver that she's not right. She steps out of the hex and she tells everybody, F off, leave me alone. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wanda's being influenced by Nightmare or actually the villain.
Ray Hall says maybe Jane Foster will come looking for Darcy and get cancer from the Westview force field. No. She would have gotten that from the ether. That's why Thor took her.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Thor took her to Asgard in the first place, was because of that. I mean, did we get any clear indication?
Yeah, it's already.
Gone?
Yeah, you know what? The story's already there. Thor: Dark World. She got the beginnings of cancer.
And you know what? And honestly, they kind of. I mean, they obviously they were talking about Maria, but they kind of even talked about that in this episode as well when Monica was talking about that. I've seen the charts and everything, the remissions and all that kinds of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's see. Night Owl says Punisher Warzone is best Marvel movie because it's so terrible. It's funny.
Or Night Owl. Okay, thanks a lot, Night Owl. Thank you for
I'll
your
be honest with you.
input.
I haven't seen Punisher Warzone. I haven't seen that one. I need to see it. Perhaps Captain Marvel will appear in the series and Carol and Wanda will battle it out. And Captain Marvel gets her ass mopped until Monica gets her powers and they would have to team up. That could happen. That could happen. Let's see. My dog has it. She is so blind. Oh, yeah. The cataracts? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Your dog has cataracts. Funny.
Okay, Night Owl. Oh, Night Owl says Spider-Man 2 is overrated. Oh. Well, I mean, by who? Overrated by who? By you?
He's talking about the Rotten Tomato algorithm.
Maybe so. I always wonder that when people say, this movie's overrated. Overrated by who? Like, I never understand that. Like, who are you looking to say that it's overrated? Like, Spider-Man 2 is a great movie. Is it overrated? I don't know. Do you think it's overrated?
No, I think it's appropriately rated.
Yeah, me too. Will Gentry says cataracts are looking through glasses that are all steamed up. Yeah, pretty much. Who do you think the aerospace engineer is?
Dr. Reed Richards.
Yeah, but what he did more than that though, did he not? Was he more than an aerospace engineer? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's one of his titles, certainly. I don't know.
Someone said Falcon could possibly be that character.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, he was the Falcon. He was a soldier. He was serving. I mean, he kind of gave his backstory. I don't think it's him. XR says anime is aight. Reaper says anime porn is the breast. Oh man. What if Darcy will become Commander Brand? Darcy Brand.
Except her name is Darcy Lewis, but other than that, sure.
Huh? Don't mess with Golem Wanda. She will do anything for her precious. Oh man. Gina Carano is working for Daily Wire now.
I don't even know if he's joking, but it possibly could be true.
I don't know either. All I gotta say is, what the fuck are you bringing up Star Wars in this conversation for? Oh man. I meant that in the Avengers cartoon series, Falcon is an engineer or something closer to Tony than to Steve, but in the MCU he was full captain. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I never watched that. The Avengers cartoon? I don't think I watched it. Don't hate on Gina Carano. She's actually a pleasant, sweet woman. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't say that I know her personally. Seems okay on social media.
I can't say we've hated.
Yeah.
We've not hated on her either.
Yeah. I didn't see. I don't see Exar hating on her. I don't know.
We are nice, sweet.
Talos' daughter hiding as a guy. Yeah, could be.
Talos' daughter could have been Maria Hill this whole time, right?
Could be. Absolutely. Damn.
That's your theory, though. That's more something you put onto me.
Yeah. Maybe it's Carol Danvers who is the mystery character that may show up, and it could be. I mean, we've already had references to her and everything. I won't doubt that. Would that be
Luke Skywalker?
Oh, I sure hope that's not it. Can you imagine the online? I can imagine that some.
Man.
I'm gonna be nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. We'll be nice. All right. I'm breathing now. We got references to Nightmare in this episode.
You're breathing. Mm-hmm. We need to change the thumbnail of this and put her with the red eye lasers in him.
Right. In a Luke Skywalker robe.
Yeah.
Maria Hill is Talos' wife. No, only in that scene, dude. Only in that scene. But anybody could impersonate her, really. If she is a real her. Maybe Maria Hill's gonna get resurrected. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, if Maria Hill was ever a real person, sure.
know. I see
But
what you're doing in the chats there, Chill. The sexist female. Oh man. All right, man. All right, that's all we've got for today's stream, guys. It's been a good stream. Like I said, in the coming days, we'll probably have more things to talk about and speculate on. You know, once we actually get in here and dig into this episode in a little bit more. Because, like I said, I think there's a whole lot of things to really go in here to dissect. Because we got a lot of. It seems like we got a lot of conversation in this episode. And like I said, I think it seems like in the MCU, most of the time when we get a lot of those conversations, that's where all the expansion of characters or plot lines and everything seems to be laid out in these seemingly mundane conversations. But before we go, Chillmonger, do you have any last words, anything you got coming up that you'd like the people to know about?
what do I have coming up? I'll probably do my personal review of this episode when I rewatch it, take some notes and record. What else do I have? I'll probably do a live stream on my channel eventually on Chillmonger. And the next time I have 33 burning questions, I will let you know. But I do recommend you watching the one that we did from last week, because 33 burning questions is the best live stream going on YouTube. You can watch it at any point in the hour long. Pop it on the 37th minute, and you're good. You'll enjoy yourself.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here. Ray Hall says, Trinity, does your back hurt from reaching so far? Absolutely not, Ray Hall. I am flexible. Keep that core tight. Stay hydrated. And we will see you all in the next video. Later.